So today we start with fourth paragraph from your syllabus. So that is regarding the turbines. So under that paragraph, first we take up the introduction to the turbines. So we have different types of hydrodynamic machines. So in broad way, we can say the one type is of turbines and the second type is of pumps. Okay, so these are the two hydrodynamic machines we have. So in the turbine, you can say in turbine, the pressure energy of fluid is converted into mechanical energy. So in turbine, you can say the pressure energy is converted into mechanical energy. Okay. Whereas in case of pumps, the mechanical energy is converted into fluid or pressure energy. So in case of pumps, the mechanical energy is converted into uh, fluid or pressure energy, you can say. Okay. Now, further, this mechanical energy that we obtained from turbines is used to generate electric power. This mechanical energy we can use to generate electric power. However, the pressure energy that we got from pumps that is used either to increase the fluid pressure, to do some useful work, or to raise the fluid to higher level. From lower level to higher level, if you want to raise the fluid, you can use pumps. So pumps are doing two things. One, it is used to increase the fluid pressure to do some useful work or to raise the fluid to the higher level. Okay, so these are two hydrodynamic machines, and this is the difference in turbines and pumps. Basic difference in turbine and pumps. Now, next is different components. So, the turbines are normally we have in hydrodynamic plants, sorry, in hydropower plants. So, next we have the components of hydropower plant. So, these components are categorized into five. The first is the water reservoir. The second is headworks. The third is waterways. Fourth is forebays, or you have surge tank. And fifth one is powerhouse and tail race. Okay, so these are the five main components of hydropower plant. Now, if I draw the basic diagram for hydropower plant, now say we have this hill. Okay, so here we have one a natural reservoir for water. This is the reservoir. Okay, this is hill. Okay, so here we have the powerhouse. So now our aim is to take water from this reservoir to powerhouse. So first we have this pipeline. Okay, so here we use one tank, and we have another pipeline over here. So that takes water from this reservoir to powerhouse. This is the water. Okay, so in powerhouse we have different turbines. So water after striking the turbine that goes to the tail race. This is the tail race. Okay, so this is one tunnel. Okay, this is surge tank. Okay, and this is the penstock. Okay, so first component is the water reservoir. Okay, now this water reservoir is of two types. Either it is natural or it may be artificial. Okay, so natural reservoir can be found in high mountains. So from there we have to brought water down to the powerhouse through tunnels and different attachments of pipelines. Okay, so however, in artificial reservoir, so the artificial reservoir that we make with the help of dams, that we construct the dam, and in that dam we store the water. Now the dam is one concrete structure. Okay, so here instead of this natural reservoir, we have one concrete structure that we call as dam, and dam is used as a reservoir that we call as artificial reservoir. Then the next component of hydropower plant is headworks. Now the headworks are the equipment used to control the flow of water into the waterways on the headrace side. Now this side of this hydropower plant that we call as headrace. Okay, and the bottom part we call as the tail race. So the headworks are the equipments. Okay, these are the used to control used to control flow. Okay, flow of water into waterways. Okay, that is on headrace side. Okay, so this consists of now this whole system to control this flow of water. We have number of equipments. So those equipments with which we can control the water flow, that are the one is different types of gates. Okay, the gates may be the plain sliding gates or roller gates or wheel gates. We have different types of gates. The first component, the first headwork is the gates. Okay, the second thing is walls. So different types of walls we used, like butterfly walls, needle walls. Okay, and third thing in headworks is the fish traps, okay, and trash racks. So these are one type of nets. So that is used to keep away the fish and the debris, okay, from going into the waterways. So fish traps and trash racks, these are one type of net we have. Okay, so these are either made from some plastic or made from steel bars. Okay, now another thing we have in head race is the heaters. Okay, so normally in cold countries, so in the reservoir where you have water, so that is in the form of ice. So to melt that ice, we use heaters so that there is a proper flow of water into the waterways. Okay. So the another component is the heaters. So these four components comes under headworks. Then we have the waterways. Okay. Now the waterways are, these are the passages through which water is brought from reservoir to the powerhouse. So waterways, you can say these are the passage, okay, through which the water is brought from head race to powerhouse. Okay, so this tunnel, this tunnel or this penstock, okay, these are under waterways. So if the length between reservoir and powerhouse is large and it is through the hilly areas, then we form some tunnels over there. Okay, or if the distance between head race or this reservoir and powerhouse is less, then we can directly connect these two with the help of penstock also. Okay, now this penstock is again one type of piping arrangement, so that we can made either from steel or from concrete depending upon the length of the pipes, okay, and depending upon the size. Okay, so that is the penstock. So in waterways you have this tunnel and this penstock. So that is waterways. Now in four ways we have this surge tank. So this surge tank is our four way. Okay, now this is a just small water storage. This is a small water storage to meet the demand of load fluctuation. Okay, so as at daytime, so less power consumption is there, so we need less amount of water to generate electricity. However, during night time we need more power and we need more electricity, so for that we need more water. So that fluctuating demand depending upon the peak season, depending upon the peak time or lean time, that we met from this small tank that we call as the surge tank. This is also called the four way. Okay, now this is a very small uh, water storage tank. Okay. Now, the another advantage of this surge tank is, now this avoid the effect of water hammer. This is the one function of surge tank. The another thing is it avoid the effect of water hammer in the penstock. Water hammer in penstock. Now, what is this water hammer is now? Now, what happens in case of long pipes? Okay, in case of long pipes, when we close the valve suddenly, okay, then what happen? A high pressure wave is created between the penstock. The high pressure wave is produced in the penstock that ultimately lead to bursting of a pipe. Bursting of penstock. Okay. So this is water hammer. So this surge tank avoid this water hammer. How this avoid this water hammer? Now when we close here the valve suddenly, a wave creates in the penstock. Okay. So that pressure wave released through this surge tank into the atmosphere. Okay. So that wave released to atmosphere through the surge tank. So this is how this surge tank or 4-bay helps to avoid water hammer effect in the penstock. Now, in the cases when the distance between the reservoir or head race to the tail race or powerhouse is less, so we can directly connect the head race to the powerhouse with the help of this penstock. So at that situation, this reservoir itself acts as a surge tank or 4-bay. The another component, the last one is the powerhouse and tail race. So this powerhouse contains our turbines. It contains the governing mechanisms. So this mechanism is used to control the discharge and speed of the turbine. Okay. Now it has other equipments like our watt meters, voltmeters, ammeters. Okay. So different type of electric instruments that are there in powerhouse. Okay. Now further, in powerhouse, as you know, there are turbines. So water strikes to the turbine. Accordingly, the energy is transferred from one side to another. So after striking the water to the turbine, it goes to the tail race. Okay, so these tail race are the open channels or canals we have. Okay, or that is in the form of a river we have. Okay, so that is the tail race. Okay, so these are the different components of hydropower plant. The next is different types of turbines. Now the turbines are classified on the basis of number one, head and quantity of water available. Number two, hydraulic action of water. Number three, direction of flow of water. Number four, position of shaft of the runner. And the last one is specific speed. Okay, specific speed of the turbine. So on these five factors, we can classify the turbines. So now we take first one on the basis of head and quantity of water available. Okay, so on the basis of this factor, we have three different types of turbines. One is high head turbines. Okay, second are the medium head turbines, and third are the low head turbines. Okay, so for high head, if the working head available is more than 250 meters, working head is more than 250 meters, so that turbine used over there are called high head turbine. Now this working head means the level of reservoir. Okay, now this is the level of tail race. Okay, and this is the level of where water enters to the powerhouse. So this height, this head is working head or net head. Or if this height is more than 250 meters, so turbine used over there that we call as high head turbines. Okay, so if it is 45 meter to 250 meters, so that is medium heads, and if it is less than 45 meters, that is low head. If we talk about the examples, so high head is the Pelton turbine, the medium head is the Francis turbine, and low head is Kaplan turbine. The another one is propeller. Okay. Now, when head available is high, the quantity of water required to produce power is low. So here Q is low. The amount discharge, The amount of water required, the amount of discharge required is low. So here Q is medium and here Q is high. Okay, so on the basis of quantity, the high head turbines required low discharge, medium head turbines required medium discharge, and low head turbines required high discharge. Okay, so this is the first classification. The second classification is on the basis of hydraulic action of water. Okay, so on this basis, we have two types of turbines. One are called impulse turbine and second one are called reaction turbine. Okay, now impulse turbine means now if the runner is the rotating part of the turbine where energy conversion takes place, that we call as runner. Now if the runner of turbine rotates by the impact or impulse action of water. Okay, so in impulse turbine or in a turbine, if the runner rotates by the impact or impulse action of water, so that type of turbine we call as the impulse turbine. Okay, now say for example we have this wheel. Okay, so simply if I draw, these are some plates mounted on this wheel. Okay, now if I strike a jet of water on this wheel, so this wheel starts rotating. So this is the impulse action of water. This is the impulse or impact of water. So due to this impact, this wheel starts rotating. So this type of turbine we call as the impulse turbine. Okay. So in impulse turbine, the one important thing we have is the nozzle. To increase the impulse of water, we use the nozzle. Now we take water from head race to the powerhouse through penstock. So this is the penstock. Okay. So at the end of the penstock, we use a nozzle. This is the nozzle. Now here the purpose of this nozzle is to convert the pressure energy available in water to high kinetic energy. The purpose is to convert the pressure energy into the kinetic energy. Now the advantage is to increase the impact or impulse of water. This helps in increase in the impact or impulse of the water. Okay. Now in case of impulse turbine, the another thing is there is no pressure difference between the inlet and outlet of the runner. Okay, so you can see here the jet strikes at the surrounding atmospheric pressure, and it also leaves after striking, it goes down and move to the tail race. Again, that is in contact with the atmospheric pressure. Okay. Now here the another thing is the runner is not full with water. Okay. Only this part where water strikes having the water in the impulse turbine. Okay. Now the example of this impulse turbine is the Pelton turbine. Only Pelton turbine, that is the impulse turbine we use nowadays. Now the another type is the reaction turbine. Okay. Now in these turbines, the runner rotates due to reaction of pressure difference. Okay. Now for this you take one rotor or a runner. Okay. Now I draw this diagram again. So this is my shaft. Okay. So here we have some passage to water enters through this rotor. Okay. Now say water enters from here. Okay. So water comes here. Okay. And it goes in the surrounding. Okay. Then it enters to the passage. Now here what happens? When water enters from this direction, so water enters at high pressure. Okay. And due to the passage, its pressure decreases, its velocity increases, however, its pressure decreases. This is the low pressure side. Similarly, over here, high pressure to low pressure. Similarly, here, high pressure to low pressure. Okay, now you can see this entry due to this variation of high pressure to low pressure, this creates reaction due to the pressure difference. It creates the reaction and this wheel starts rotating. Okay, this wheel starts rotating due to this reaction of pressure difference. So this type of turbine we call as the reaction turbine. That we call as the reaction turbine. So if I repeat it again, you can say the runners of such turbines have curved blades, okay, and the water enters to those blades from higher pressure side to lower pressure side. So due to that pressure difference, there is a reaction on that runner or that vanes. Due to that reaction, that runner starts rotating, and such type of turbines we call as the reaction turbines. So in reaction turbines, there is a continuous decrease in pressure. Okay, so you can see in reaction turbines, there is continuous decrease in pressure. Okay, so here the runner is always full with water. Okay, so to keep this pressure difference high to low, so now we have to separate this runner from the atmosphere. Okay, so that separation is done by enclosing this runner in a special type of casing. Now we enclose this runner in a special type of casing. So here casing do a very important function, okay, that we call as the hydraulic function of the casing. Now this casing keeps the turbine runner isolate from the atmospheric pressure. It isolate the turbine runner from the atmospheric pressure, or from the atmosphere, you can say. Okay. So here in this case, in case of impulse turbine, the casing has not do any hydraulic function because there is no pressure difference from inlet to outlet side. Okay. So here in case of impulse turbine, the casing does not perform any hydraulic function. However, the casing has importance in case of reaction turbines. Okay. So these are the two turbines on the basis of hydraulic action of water. If we talk about the examples, the reaction turbines we have, the example is the Francis turbine. Okay. The example is Kaplan turbine, propeller turbine. Okay. So these all are the reaction turbines. Okay. The next classification is on the basis of direction of flow of water. So on this basis, we have tangential flow, tangential flow turbines. Okay. We have radial flow turbines. Okay. We have axial flow. Okay. And we have mixed flow turbines. So these are the four types of turbines on the basis of direction of flow of water in the runner. Now, tangential flow means when the flow is tangential to the runner. Now you can see in case of impulse turbine. So here the flow is tangential to the wheel, this runner. Okay, so this is the tangential flow turbine, and the example is Pelton turbine. Okay, now in radial flow turbine, the radial flow turbine, we have say this runner. Okay, and water flows. Now this is the shaft of the turbine. Okay, the water flows in this direction. This is the purely radial direction. Okay, so in radial flow, you can say the path of flow of water remains radial direction to the runner. The flow is radial to the runner. Okay, now in the present time, we have no pure radial flow turbine. The another one is the axial flow turbine, means the flow is axial to the runner. Okay, the example is Kaplan turbine. Okay, or propeller turbine. Okay, now in this case, we have uh, something like this. So this is the shaft. This is the shaft of the turbine, and these are the vanes mounted on the shaft. Okay, so here the direction of flow of water is like this. This is parallel to the shaft. Okay, so this is the axial direction, and such turbine we call as the axial flow turbines. Then the last one are the mixed flow turbines. Now, in case of mixed flow turbines, the flow is from radial to axial. Okay, so within the runner, the flow changes from radial direction to axial direction. The example is Francis turbine. Now you can see here in this diagram, the water enters, the water enters in the radial direction. Water enters here in the radial direction. Okay. However, when it comes out from here along the shaft, it is in the axial direction. Okay, so we can discuss in detail uh, when we see the Francis turbine. Okay, the cut section models of the cut section views of Francis turbine. Then you can see, then you can view how this flow changes from radial to axial direction in the runner. Okay, so the mixed flow turbine is the Francis turbine. Okay, then the next classification is on the basis of position of shaft. Okay, so position of shaft means this shaft on which our runner is mounted. Okay, so this shaft you can see over here on which the runner is mounted. Okay, so this shaft may be horizontal or it may be vertical. So you can say either we have horizontal shaft turbine or vertical shaft turbine. So you can see in this diagram the shaft is vertical. Okay, in this diagram you can say the shaft is horizontal. Okay, so that is the fourth classification. And the fifth classification is on the basis of specific speed. Okay, now I define the specific speed. Now, specific speed of a turbine is defined as the speed of a geometrically similar turbine which produces a unit power when working under a unit head. Okay, now its meaning is, now say you have this actual turbine. Okay, now this actual turbine working under head H and producing some power, say P. Okay, now we manufactured its one model. Okay, that model is geometrically similar. That model is geometrically similar, and when this model under this model the working head is 1 meter. Okay, and we try to produce from this model a power of 1 kilowatt. Okay, so to produce a power of 1 kilowatt, at what speed we have to rotate its runner, that we call as the specific speed of this turbine, the specific speed of actual turbine. Okay, so depending upon this definition of specific speed, we have three types of turbines. One is low specific speed turbine. Okay, then medium specific speed turbine, and then high specific speed turbines. Okay, now this range is, now this is uh, up to 50. Okay, this is 50 to 250, and this is 250 and above. Okay, the examples are, this is Pelton turbine. Okay, this is for Francis, and this is for Kaplan and propeller turbine. Okay. Now again, you can see in Pelton turbine, the turbine may be with single nozzle or with multiple nozzle. Okay. So for single nozzle, this range is up to 30, and 30 to 50 we have for multiple nozzles. Now multiple nozzles means these nozzles. So this is for single nozzle. If you have multiple nozzles, say your one more penstock, so your water strikes over here. Okay, so here you have a turbine with two nozzles. Okay, that is multiple nozzles, and its specific speed is from 30 to 50. Okay, so these are the different types of turbines we have. Okay, so now I stop here. Thank you.